On today's episode of the DeRaud Messenger Show, Quinn Ewers announces that he's returning to Texas in 2024, and Dylan Sarkisian possibly staying at Texas, possibly going to Bama. We'll talk about it in a bit. Longhorns fans, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. It's greatly appreciated. And check us out at HornSports.com. All of that is very appreciated. We appreciate, as always, all the support. So, Dylan, we're going to talk about Quinn Ewers, of course, announcing on social media via, I don't know if you watched the video, Dylan, like a card. He signed a
Yeah,
card and said he's coming back. I don't know if he's going to put that up for sale, but if so, that might fetch a pretty penny for the young quarterback, of course. I
depending on how the season goes.
Maybe depending. Maybe have the auction before.
Dynamic pricing.
Dynamic pricing can change everything, but he does announce on social media that he's coming back to Texas in 2024, which is huge news in all honesty for the Longhorns.
Yeah.
Yet again, Arch Manning has all the potential in the world, and I know a lot of Texas fans will bring that up within zero point 0.5 seconds of me announcing anything. But, Dylan, entering the SEC with an inexperienced quarterback is a tall task for a young quarterback such as Manning. This will give him another opportunity, most likely, yet again, never know, but another opportunity to sit behind Ewers and learn how to be the best at his position in the toughest conference in college football. And last year, Dylan, just to list some stats before I get your opinion on it. In 2023, 12 games for Ewers, he passed for 3,479 yards, 20 touchdowns, or 22, excuse me, 6 interceptions, and we preach about it, about the need of this stat being where it was. 69% completion percentage, a big jump from the 2022 campaign. How big of a deal is it for Texas to be getting Ewers back, Dylan?
Well, you took the words out of my mouth when you were talking about going into the SEC with an inexperienced quarterback. That's probably the last thing that you want to do, specifically with just guys getting acclimated to the talent level. And in some ways, not just talent level. Like Big 12 had a ton of talent level, but it's like a semi-pro league at that point, where like the way that everything's constructed, assistant coaches and up to the head coach, it's very similar to that of, or eerily similar to that of like an NFL program, at least when you start to get to Alabama and Georgia. So having consistency in that department with the quarterback leading you in that direction, that's huge. And when you're talking about those stats, obviously he's building off, he improved off of the year prior to this. And if he can continue that trend, and specifically with just the games that he's playing and staying healthy, that puts Texas in a really good spot, at least when it comes to the pieces around him are going to be more inexperienced. So having that experience there, that's going to be huge for Texas.
Well, certainly. And I've heard a lot of people talking about other players around him have lifted him up in recent years. This, Dylan, is going to be a chance for him to transition
Yeah.
to a game manager role, which he's developed nicely into, where he's, keeping Texas in positions to win games, making the throws that he needs to when he needs to. But he's going to be transitioning, hopefully for Texas fans, from a game manager role to a game winner role. And
Well, that's the thing. That's what's interesting, because it felt like his first year he was transitioning from gunslinger to game manager, and now he's going to have to, in a
in a
way, go
way,
back. Not full guns, never go full gunslinger,
never go
but
full
in
Rambo.
a way, get close to it. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. At least in terms of like the sheer confidence in your arm, Dylan, because that freshman year, the
Yeah.
first half, before the injury against Bama, that, as Dylan was saying, that was full gunslinger Brett Favre mode. He's going to need to be a little bit more of that in this next season, but also keeping the efficiency numbers in the way that they have been, and of course taking care of the football. But overall, I think Dylan and I think this is a great get in terms of just a not an addition, but just keeping him in place when he could have gone to the NFL, Dylan. Of course, there's guys like Caleb Williams, May is above him, Penix, even Bo Nix. It might be smart for him to wait another year. And speaking of waiting another year, he told ESPN this quote, a little bit of a transition, Dylan. How about this?
Oh, I like it.
One more year with my teammates and one more year of development with Coach Sark made the most sense. Now,
Yeah.
speaking of making the most sense there, we're talking about Sark too. I got Sark.
Uh-oh.
Is he staying too? The fact that Ewers is even mentioning Sark's name in the quote, I think, is at least a promising development for Texas fans. Talk around the subject of Saban, other than the fact that he retired from Sark's mouth, has been not too plentiful. But Dylan, you know what? This is where agents make their money, and Jimmy Sexton, I believe, is Sarkisian's agent, along with pretty much every other seemingly head coach in college football. This is when he goes out there and he uses any leverage he can get to get his guys more money. So it's not a surprise to say that Sarkisian hasn't been too talkative, Dylan. But I would say in
Yeah.
terms of a danger level, we like our danger levels. Right now it's pretty low. However, it's not non-existent. How do you feel about that?
I was about to say this is Asian season, Devin, because there was a tweet on Twitter of I think it was Pete Thamel reporting contract buyouts of some pretty prominent names, and followed it up 10 minutes later. They added James Franklin to that tweet just to make sure his buyout number got in there. So yeah, like you're saying in Sark's case, I don't think he's going to go. I think danger level, I put it at almost like a 3, just because I wouldn't say that that's his spot. Like Alabama's not like where it's not his alma mater in that way kind of way. It was just where he was able to get some more like something under his footing before transitioning to the NFL and then also as into Texas. So again, I don't think he's going anywhere. But like you were saying, it doesn't hurt to get a bit of leverage and maybe get some boosters' feet a little antsy. Maybe get some more money on that department.
Do you think out of the candidates right now, he should be probably considered top three? Wouldn't you think? You got probably yet again. We're not in the Alabama head coaching room, but you
Yeah.
have to assume Lanning at Oregon was a top candidate. It seems like he's going to be
Mm.
staying at Oregon yet again. As
Yes.
I'll
He
emphasize,
has the
probably
chance to do the funniest thing ever. That is for sure.
Lanning.
Yeah. Release that video a week later, just and he's in Alabama. But
Yeah.
yeah, like I think Sark has proven that he's a. I don't
I
have.
think
I'd
Alabama
have to get back to
fans,
you on the direct names.
Alabama fans, I
But
think would be happy with the addition of Sark, given that he has some
yeah.
experience there and their offense looked the way it did. So
Well,
I think fan
and he
base is
knows how to
like,
work the portal, right? Like he knows how to work the portal. He bring that. That would be an addition to Alabama because I know with Saban, he wasn't the biggest fan of the portal in that sort of way. So Sark bringing that new,
maybe not initially, but he ended
not
up,
initially, he built it out, but
yeah.
yeah, again, like just in the era, I
That's
think
what
Sark
made
fits it.
Yeah, that's what made Saban so great. Sorry to cut you off there, Dylan. Is that he ended up adopting new practices
Mhm.
that initially weren't required for him as a head coach. And yeah, Dylan, I don't know. Yet again, I don't want to speculate, but Sark, Dan Lanning, DeBoer at Washington,
Yeah.
Norvell at Florida State. There's a couple of guys
Yep.
in this mix. And if you're Sark's agent, yet again, I'm wanting to keep his name in the mix for as long as I can before someone is hired. For Texas fans, I would not be too worried right now, but I did want to emphasize, I noted it earlier, I do want to emphasize that things change seemingly by the minute, especially in coaching searches. But you definitely see that with Bo Davis, for example. It seemed like last week he was going to stay at Texas. Now
Mhm.
he's announced, or at least everyone else seemingly has announced that he's going to LSU. You never know, Dylan, but right now I have my hand just not on the danger level too firm, maybe a 2 or 3.
Yeah, I mean, and it really comes down to one. The biggest thing is money. It's sad, yeah, sadly we have to say that is a big driver for anything, but also what you've accomplished. I feel like, but Bo Davis accomplished a lot at Texas, and I feel like, and I'm using that as just a transition to Sark. Is I think there's a lot left for Sark to accomplish at Texas. If he had won a national championship, you might be like, well, what does he feel like he can do from here? Would it be a good change of scenery now? All the type of things. He's only been here for 3 years, right? So it's like I think there's a lot of meat left on the bone, and I wouldn't be too concerned about it unless he was getting paid the most amount of money anyone's ever seen as a head coach.
Yeah, and I think Saban had that spot before, though, right? And now he's retiring. So
Yeah,
who knows, Dylan? Those Texas boosters might be emptying out some wallet. Sark did maybe not a friendly deal because, all deals are 5 million plus and, 5 to 10, 15 million. But he did have a somewhat friendly head coaching job. Texas did somewhat, yet again, using that word quite a bit here to put some emphasis on it, somewhat took a chance on him as well. And so far, it seems like it's paid off with that trip to the college football playoff. But Dylan, yeah, yet again, I don't think fans are going to be breathing easy until something has been announced. And just in all the fun of it, Michigan, yet again, if Harbaugh leaves, maybe Kelly, Chip Kelly, or not Chip, excuse me, Brian Kelly, maybe he wants to jump ship and try to chase Michigan, and then there's another SEC opening. Like it could get crazy. And yet
Yeah.
again, that's just me going on the crazy conspiracy theory board. But there's a lot of big time programs that are holding on to their coaches, as Dylan said. Franklin at Penn State. This is reaching the cross conference, cross state,
Yeah.
cross national. I don't know. Yeah,
Let's put Franklin to bed, please. I don't think he's going
that
to be making the switch to Alabama.
Yeah, I mean, Franklin has shown the pedigree to be able to put together a good team, Dylan, and compete for top 12 spots. But of course, he needs to put that cherry on the top before he is like that top pick for Alabama. And I've joked about that to
Yeah.
friends. Penn State always looks good until they face the two toughest games in their conference schedule, and then it just
I agree.
does not
Cannot
look
agree more
as
with you,
good.
Devin.
But
Yeah.
anyway, just to wrap this up, Sark has the Alabama ties. Definitely is liked by their fan base, and rightfully so. Texas is going to have to probably sweeten up their pitch for him just to make sure he does not stay anywhere or tempt the waters. But with this Ewers announcement hinting that Sark is going to be back, and Sark just seeming like he's going to be back, subject to change, I wouldn't be too worried yet. But
The
don't
tea
maybe
leaves are pointing in the right direction. That is for sure.
things are
That's
pointing.
that's what we can really grasp here.
Exactly, and it doesn't seem like anybody knows where anybody's going yet, so we're right there with y'all. But more importantly than our thoughts, what do you think about this whole situation? Is there a guy that you think Alabama should hire? And do you think Sark stays? Let us know down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and as always, have a great rest of your day.